So my name's Melissa Borge, but I actually come from Australia, and I left Australia about 5 years ago, and I live here now in Costa Rica, just up in the mountains, with my 11-year-old son. And so I've spent most of my life traveling around the world, like also wanting to really find a different way to live. And then when I had my child, I really knew that I didn't want him to be raised in the system. So this is how I found myself here in Costa Rica. But my journey alongside of that, of coming into my pleasure, where I believe pleasure is not optional, has been a really, really deep journey for myself, from my own personal story of coming from a background of sexual abuse and being really in my masculine, where I worked very, very hard jobs in the masculine world because I was so frightened of being a woman. I felt really intimidated to be a woman, and I just felt really unsure on how to do that. So my work today has been such a huge sort of, breakthrough of becoming really comfortable to who I am and where I am and kind of So straight away when I hear that, it's like, what do I want from my work globally? And what I want is to see the return of the red tent for women to go into, and the return of rites of passage for boys. So I really want to see where once again within our culture and our societies, we're holding the females coming up and the boys coming up, where the boys are held through ritual, with the uncles, the grandfathers, and their fathers, the whole masculine energy of the tribe, of their community, of their family, and where the women are brought into the folds of the red tent environment, where the grandmothers and the mothers and the aunties know the women of their community, their village, their town, their suburb, where the women are sharing who they are, how they are, and also empowering themselves and the young girls of their own pleasure in their own bodies. So at the moment, all of our education for young boys and young girls is being grabbed off the internet, grabbed out of magazine, grabbed and taken from people we have no idea who are. We don't know the person printing the magazine. We have no idea the person making these films, and yet we're taking their word. So I want all of the information to come back into our communities, and that empowers the people within the community as also those receiving it. And it also brings that sacred space into men being men, boys being held within the masculine energy, so they can really embody that, who they are and how they are, from the men and from men that they trust. And same with the girls. And so the girls become empowered about their own bodies, their own pleasure, before they enter out into the world and start receiving lovers and beloveds and into relationships. So they're very sure of who they are themselves and how their body operates and how their pleasure operates for them.
Thank you. And how do you feel Envision Festival helps to catalyze your vision?
So coming from here, I know a lot of the people that have created Envision. And Envision is this container that really supports and invites people to really step out of the norm, what we call the norm, or step out of our boundaries that we place on ourselves or society places on ourselves. And it creates this container. It's like creating this sort of hub where people step in onto the land, into the festival, and they feel so much freer. I mean, you see it's like as you walk around, like people are just wearing as little or as much as they want, where women are feeling like they, especially also for women, where women feel that they can walk around just in their bikini or walk around in their expression and not be in danger, not be sort of at the assault of comments or physicality or anything like that. So that container here, the container created where people feel really free, allows the people to then be a lot more open to receive. And so then they, also for us as presenters, we have this container that we step into and we present our truest expression, not the expression that we a lot of the times get told needs to be given, like as it would be, sort of out in another world or during, other interviews or other, what do you call them, like when you I've just had such a blank after talking. Conferences and things like that. But the Envision Festival provides a space where everyone has the invitation to really be in their truth. And so it also shows how we can live, because it's not like a bubble that, well, it can only happen here. There's also, what Envision provides is a lot of teachings and information of how to implement and step out into the real world. And so from Envision comes other festivals and our life here in Costa Rica. The organizers of Envision, most of them are from here. So we're just also now expressing, our dream for humanity. And so bringing that into action and inviting people to come and be a part of that.
So just to break it down a little bit more, why is it so important for people to be able to express the truth of who they are?
Because when we're expressing something that isn't our truth and it comes from someone else, this is the very beginning of dis-ease. When you're not at ease of who you are, you're in the dis-ease. And we have a culture and society that is so prevalent with disease, even though we have clean water and clean housing and all of these streets that are so much cleaner than 400 years ago, and yet we're very, very ill. And a lot of this illness comes from the dis-ease of not being really true to ourselves. So we're through so many different systems and so many ideas of what we should be doing. It's got nothing to do with who we truly are. And people are getting sicker a lot younger. And stress is our new norm, is the go-to. Stress is the new crack. Stress is the new crack. We become very addicted to that. And so then we just become a machine. We're mechanics that are getting through our days. And then we're birthing and we're raising families within that mechanic of still going on a structure that's not ours. It's not natural to. It's also, I was speaking to someone the other day, what did we say? That the inhumaneness to humanity. How do we become humane within our humanity? And if we look at around of how we eat our food, how we treat ourselves, how we treat others, how we construct our buildings, how we grow our food, it's inhumane. It's actually against the culture of being human. So to have chemicals in our food is just beyond comprehension, and yet we take it as the norm that that's okay. And I can go on and on, but for me it's coming back into who we are as a human being on this planet, because we're a part of this planet. We're not separate from it.
So just to fly off of that, and just kind of a personal question, I kind of feel like I already know the answer, but you're a wealth of so much information. I've been healing from a vaginal cyst for about 10 years, and I understand that I've tried everything physical, so it has a deeper root, which is energetic and emotional, and I guess everything physical does. So what guidance do you have for me continuing to heal this? What I've picked up from your workshops is that there's stagnant energy from how I used to treat myself when I wasn't living in authenticity. So I think massage is one of the most helpful ways, self-massage. Do you have anything else you would add to that?
So the first thing that comes to mind, first of all, as always, is compassion. Deep and utter compassion for yourself. Because when we talk about our history, what I've brought to the table thus far is having deep compassion for that. It's also finding, when we come to blockages, as you say, internal massage, and coming to a point and holding that point in an internal massage and really acknowledging what's coming up. You can use other therapies such as tapping, searching for other therapies that really suit you, breath, deep internal breathing practices. There's all different types of breath work that you can follow through on that really bring you into that blockage. And and it may not come in one certain way, but it's really coming to know your inner core, and that's where we look at deep internal massage, and even using a crystal wand too, using crystals to absorb energy. So if you're using a rose quartz crystal wand and using that on the spot where the cyst is, obviously when it's not painful, to allow energy to be absorbed and released, and just see what comes up, and really have so much compassion for yourself and allow yourself to go there.
Any final thoughts that you would offer to anyone who's never been to Envision before?
Why not? That's what I say. I believe our pleasure is completely not optional, and coming to a place like this really allows you to expand on that. And why not? You know, we live once. It's like, if that's an edge for you, if like to come to a festival like Envision is something that, you know, brings butterflies to you, think, oh, I could never do that, then maybe we call those erotic edges. Maybe that's the edge to sit on, to push the boundary so that you feel alive. So if pushing that or making a decision to do that would make you feel alive, do it.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Melissa. It's a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
That was another amazing class.
Yeah.
This is what you want this to out to show you.
So who are you?
Who am I? I am a happy, blessed being of light. Simple human being, just doing my best to share happiness and to inspire joy and to empower truth.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Barbados, but I live in Venice Beach, California. Yeah.
And you go by Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew Seven Seeley. That's my
Seeley.
yeah,
Okay.
full name.
So Andrew, what do you want?
I want only for the simplicity of communion and unity and love to be brought to the forefront of how we live our lives, and to bring forth a greater awareness of where we're going as human beings, and to bring forth a greater awareness of our integral part in healing and saving the world so that we can all live symbiotically.
How does Envision Festival help to catalyze your vision?
Envision Festival helps to catalyze my vision by allowing me the opportunity to be able to share what I love and cherish as acro yoga, a means of healing, a means of connecting, and a means of communion to a larger variety of people. And it's really good to be able to have the opportunity to speak to these people in a more diverse community, because Envision is a huge diverse community full of people who are all from different walks of life, from different places all around the world, and have a completely different perception as to what the world is to them. So it's great to bring people from all different parts of the world to one space where they can commune and connect around one central hub of relationship.
What is acro yoga?
Acro yoga is a really incredible trust and connection mixture between yoga and acrobatics. And it really allows people the opportunity to support one another. And through that support, they create a deeper awareness of themselves and how they interact with others.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share with anyone who's never been to Envision Festival?
I would love to share that Envision is absolutely incredible, that it is a great opportunity to step outside of your comfort zone, to come to a space of nature, and to truly have a genuine experience of learning to love yourself and others, while at the same time benefiting nature. Because the beauty of this whole entire life that we live is that we're in harmony with nature. And the more that we can live with a sense of awareness of that, the more that we bring forth a deeper compassion for all human beings, for all living beings, and for this gorgeous planet that we live on. So you should come to Envision to truly experience that as an embodied community of people doing their best to bring forth that awareness to the world.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, just be a part of change. Envision the change that you wish
Vision
to
the
see.
change that you wish to see. Okay, so thank you, Andrew, so much for your time, your guidance, your words.
Nuestros hijos son el futuro y es lo que tenemos que cuidar porque sabemos que como sociedad estamos en un proceso de aprendizaje. En este proceso de aprendizaje hemos cometido errores que queremos subsanar para el futuro, para nuestros hijos y para la Madre Tierra, porque la Madre Tierra es lo que nos sostiene, es lo que nos mantiene vivos. Entonces eso es lo que queremos, ese legado queremos dejar a nuestros hijos. Ser mejor con nuestro hermano prójimo, ser mejor como unidad, como humanidad y ser mejor con nuestra Madre Tierra. Y eso lo logramos siempre con la ayuda de Dios. Entonces esos son pilares fundamentales en la vida. Dios, el hermano prójimo y la tierra. Esa es la visión de vida que tengo.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias.
So, how does Envision Festival catalyze your vision?
Pues aquí he venido porque me han hecho la invitación para participar en la Carpa Roja. Es primera vez que en Envision se da la oportunidad de tener una Carpa Roja y pues pienso que es una oportunidad muy importante porque las mujeres actualmente estamos retomando nuestro rol en la humanidad, nuestro rol de madre, nuestro rol de cuidar el hogar, nuestro rol de cuidar la familia, de cuidarnos las unas a las otras, de saber cuál es nuestra misión aquí en la Tierra, qué tan importantes somos nosotras, porque lamentablemente del siglo XVIII para acá nos han enseñado que nosotras somos la costilla del hombre, que nosotras somos también una imagen para un producto determinado, que nosotras somos la carne, pero no, nosotros somos lo que está adentro, nosotras somos la que gestamos 9 meses, nosotras somos las que criamos a los hijos, nosotras somos las que sostenemos el hogar, nosotros somos las que alimentamos a la familia y eso tenemos que recordar eso para saber qué valor tenemos nosotras, porque nuestro valor no está afuera, está adentro y está en el rol que Dios nos ha dado a nosotros para caminar en la humanidad, en equilibrio, junto al hombre, en el mismo nivel, en el mismo lugar, juntos. Eso es lo que creemos.
Is there anything else for somebody who has never come to Envision before that you would want them to know?
Bueno, realmente la experiencia está en cada persona, ¿no? En lo que cada persona tiene como propósito venir a compartir. Mi recomendación más que para Envision, yo podría decir que en la vida tengamos siempre bonito propósito, bonita intención en el corazón para compartir, bonita intención para hablar, para estar con las personas, para dar un saludo, para dar una mano, para dar un apoyo. La intención también es bonita de tener estos espacios que se prestan para la transformación, porque aquí hay muchos templos, muchas charlas, muchas actividades que son para nuestro crecimiento, para aprovechar, para nutrirnos. Entonces la idea es estar presente y asimilar lo mejor que nos brinda el espacio también para recrearnos, para crear nuevas amistades. Eso es lo que yo recomiendo.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias.